Autobiography. Now, first, before understanding this prose, never sitting still, we will first understand which genre is this prose about. So this prose is an autobiography. Usually, children, before we understand or before we do this prose, let us understand the difference between autobiography and biography. So an autobiography is a story of a person's life as told by that person. Please underline this even in your textbook or make a note of it. See, autobiography is usually a story about a person's life which is told by that same person itself. Okay. And what is a biography in this context? A biography is about a person's life, but it is written by someone else, not by the same person. For example, if I take two examples over here, one is Samriddhi and other is Mariam. Both are there in this class, right? So now if Mariam is writing about her own personal life, it will be called as autobiography. But if Samriddhi is writing about Mariam's personal life, then it will be called as what? As a
Biography.
Biography.
So now when Mariam is writing about her own personal life, so definitely don't you think that she's going to include a lot of details, minute details also of her personal life, because she herself is talking about her life, isn't it? Incidents, events.
Yes, ma'am.
But then if Samriddhi is writing about Mariam, then not necessary that Samriddhi will be able to cover all, even the minute details about her life. Yes? Will she
And
be
it won't be emotional also, ma'am. It will
Yes,
be full of
ma'am, and
facts.
it won't express
It
feelings
won't have
also.
minute details also, right? Which most probably Mariam would be able to tell in a more proper way. Okay. So autobiography is always written by the concerned person himself. Okay. The subject of the story is also the author. So that means the subject who's there in the story is the author as well. For example, Mariam is the subject. She will be seen as the subject in the story, as well as Mariam will be the author. Now, mostly autobiographies are written in first person point of view. This means that the narrator or a person telling the story is also in the story. So this is what I just told you. If Mariam is writing the story for about her own personal life, then it will be a first person point of view, right? And she will always use personal pronouns, like I, me, my, all these pronouns she's going personal pronouns she'll use while she's writing about herself, and she'll always write in first person. But if Samriddhi is writing about Mariam's life, will she use personal pronoun, children?
No, ma'am.
Then what is she going to use? How is Samriddhi going to write about Mariam?
Ma'am, second person, ma'am. He or
Second
she.
person.
She,
Yes, she'll
her,
use pronouns such as
her.
she, her, right? Okay. So I hope you understood the difference between biography and autobiography. Everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Autobiographies are usually book length, since the author usually covers the events of his or her entire life. So in autobiography, the author, for example, I'm taking again the example of Mariam. If she's going to write about her life events, incidents, so definitely it will be a book length autobiography in which she'll cover all the important events of her life, all the turning points. If there's any incident which has occurred in her life, she'll mention that. So all this contributes as the genre as autobiography. Have you all
What is book
understood
length?
autobiography, everyone? Have you all understood autobiography, children? What is the meaning of autobiography?
And what is book length?
Diary of Annie Frank. It is in the library and I have read it. Not
Okay.
totally.
It's an autobiography?
Yes, ma'am, of a 13-year-old girl who survived the World War II.
Right.
Ma'am, she did not survive. She died, actually.
Okay. So that means you all are quite aware about autobiographies. Now, have you all understood the meaning of autobiography?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. Even
Everyone?
Black Beauty is in.
Everyone understood the meaning of the word autobiography?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Now I want you all to underline. Shlok, just underline this. It is written in first person point of view. Uses personal pronouns such as I, me, my. Underline these keywords which you need to remember about autobiography. Now, in this prose, which we will be studying about, is an autobiography written by whom? Looking at the picture, can you guess?
Sachin Tendulkar.
Yes, it's an
Sachin Tendulkar.
autobiography of Sachin Tendulkar. Now, let's begin the prose. Undoubtedly, I had a fascinating childhood. My early years were never boring. In fact, quite the opposite. I can trace a lot of stamina and inner strength that sustained me during my cricket career to those earlier, which were full of fun. So basically, he's telling that his childhood was full of fun, and he is telling us, he's giving us the information that he had a lot of stamina, a lot of inner strength, and he made his childhood very fascinating. Okay, now let us see what all things did he do to make his childhood fascinating, full of fun, and what foolish things or what things did he do in his childhood to make it a memorable childhood. Let's see, are you all very anxious, or are you very excited to know about his childhood?
Ma'am, I read it 2-3 times.
Okay, and what about others? Are you all ready to know about his
Yes, ma'am.
childhood?
Yes.
All right, let's see. We had moved to Satya Sahawas in 1971. In my growing up years, there was a great deal of construction work taking place there. They gave me and my friends the opportunity to play quite a few pranks on our neighbors. While we were never violent and never caused bodily harm to others, I'm ashamed to admit we sometimes enjoyed having a laugh at the expense of other members of the colony. For it was fun, plain and simple. But looking back at some of the mischief we got up to now is rather embarrassing. Okay, so let us see why he said that his childhood was full of fun, why he said that it was quite exciting, quite fascinating. So basically he begins his story by saying that the entire family had moved to Satya Nivas in the year 1971, and now this place where they were living, over there a construction work was going on. Okay, so due to that, that construction site, it gave an immense opportunity to him and to his friends to do what? To play a lot of pranks on the neighbors. So this is how, by playing pranks, he made his childhood very fascinating. And let's see what else did he do. Now, what he's saying that we used to play pranks. We used to, irritate our neighbors, but we never ever caused any bodily harm to any neighbor. All right, we just enjoy playing pranks with them, and we used to have a nice enjoyable time over there, but never ever hurting any neighbor. And now he's saying that when he recollect those memories of his childhood, what pranks he had played, what irritating stuff he had done to his neighbors, he says that he feels a little bit of embarrassing, when he remembers those days. Now let us see what in the further prose, let us see what are the different types of pranks he played with his neighbors. I just I wanted to ask y'all, did y'all also do something, played any pranks with your neighbors, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What did y'all do? How you all did? What things y'all
Ma'am,
did?
I rang the bell and I ran.
Yes.
Ma'am, some children
you
played
ring the bell and
on
you
us.
manage
Ma'am, ding dong
contents.
it. Ma'am, ding dong it.
Ma'am, I say boo when a person comes.
Okay, you shouted, used to scream. Okay, that
No,
that
ma'am,
is
not
also
like that way, like boo, like that.
Ma'am,
and then
I
scream.
actually did once. I did ding dong this. That means like you knock at the door and then you
Huh.
quickly run away.
Yes,
This
ma'am. I did
right.
that a lot.
Right. This many students do.
And that's
Even
my
now,
ma'am. Some
have
people
done a very
left our
funny prank.
colony.
Ma'am, I have done a very funny prank.
what prank?
I have kept three Oreo biscuits aside of the packet, and other I have filled toothpaste, and that I went it down, and I was eating that and showing them that see it is okay. And when they ate they didn't want Oreo.
Okay. Okay. Good. All right. Any other thing? Anything? Any harming thing you all did, or it was just a normal pranks you all
No,
played?
ma'am. We
And
just
one
And the
played
time,
them.
Panchos wants to say something.
Okay. Yes. 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 Unmute and share your views, children. No
ma'am,
problem.
one time put chili flakes in the Oreo biscuit.
Ma'am,
Okay.
this
And you gave
Akansh
it to
played
whom?
lot
And you
of
gave it to
pranks.
whom?
Ma'am, to my friends down.
Okay.
Oh
Friends
my god,
downstairs.
that must be so spicy.
This is among the friends. Okay. And
But
neighbors
this
you
time
not, right?
ma'am, but this time some of the friends didn't took only. They were like, we
They
think it is
understood. They
again.
understood
Yeah.
your pranks.
But
Okay.
some who wanted to eat, they took.
Okay, okay, good, good. Now let us see what prank Sachin Tendulkar played with his, neighbors. Now let us see and understand what are the different pranks he used, and how they used to enjoy and have fun and laughter. Okay, one of our regular tricks was to dig a deep hole in the sand left behind by the contractors and cover it with newspapers before disguising it with sand. Then we would deliberately lure people to walk over it. And as they walk into the crater, we would be in fits of laughter. All right. So now
But how can he dig such a big hole? It is very
I'll tell you 1 minute. Now we come across one new word, that is disguising. Let's click on this and first understand the meaning of the word disguising. So the meaning of the word disguising is give someone or oneself a different appearance in order to conceal one's identity. Okay, in order to conceal your real identity, you take over or you appear in a very different order, so that the other person doesn't recognize you. Okay, let us see how do we use this word in the sentence. We took elaborate measures to disguise ourselves as locals. Okay, they took a lot of precautions, so that they could turn themselves, or make their appearance as the locals of that specific place. Okay, have you all understood the meaning of the word disguising, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Now I'll explain to you all what was this prank. So what was their regular prank? They used to dig a deep hole in the sand, which was left behind by these contractors. You already know they were staying in a place where construction was going on, right? So whatever sand was left, so what these people used to do, they used to dig a deep hole in the sand, and they used to cover that hole with the newspaper, and they used to, just to hide the newspaper, they used to disguise it with the sand, so that any person who walks over the sand won't recognize that there is a hole over there. And deliberately what they used to do, they used to make people walk over that, and as soon as they used to fell, these people used to have a laughter. So this was their regular prank which they used to play, just because they were staying near the construction site. You all cannot do this, right? Isn't it?
Ma'am, I can do it. I stay near a construction site.
Okay, okay, okay. But don't do it. All right. Don't do it. All right. This was the first trick. Now let us see what was the second prank or mischief things they used to do with the neighbors, how they used to trouble their neighbors. All right. Another was to pour an unsuspecting passerbys from our pour water, okay, pour water on unsuspecting passerbys from an apartment on the 4th floor. And I remember that feasting on mangoes picked from the trees we weren't supposed to touch was also our favorite pastime. So there are two things mentioned here. One, the second prank they used to play was pouring water on the passerbys from the top floor, 4th floor. Anybody do this in my class?
No, ma'am, but it is a good idea.
Oh,
Ma'am, I used to throw other things, not
okay.
water.
Not
Ma'am,
water.
but
Okay.
I used to throw chits on that. I will write something that you are a buffalo like that.
But then you are wasting food, na, in that case, right? Don't waste food.
No, ma'am, I was throwing papers.
You said chips.
No, ma'am, paper.
Okay.
I will write on it.
Chits.
Chits. Okay, fine. All right. And second thing was the third thing was what? If any neighbor told them not to touch their mango tree or not to pluck mangoes, so they used to deliberately go and pick mangoes from there and eat it. This, though, I think most of the students must have done it, right? If anything is forbidden in nature, you all are bound to do that, isn't it? The forbidden nature of act.
They are small coconut trees. So the watchman tells that do not pluck the coconuts, but we still pluck the
You all do it deliberately. Yeah, this is
Ma'am,
the
I pluck
tendency. Flowers. Yeah, flowers. Girls mostly
But
do
ma'am,
this.
sometimes when the watchman saw us, he came, so we gave him also a coconut and he also ate.
Okay, bribing the watchman, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, now let's see what the next. The forbidden nature of the act made it even more compelling, and the complaints that would follow did little to put us off. Finally, and this was very embarrassing. Looking back now, my friends and I would take pride in locking people in their flats. It wasn't dangerous, but the resulting delay, which must have caused them immense frustration, seemed very funny at that time. So you understood what he did? Just turn on the previous page. So anything which was forbidden in nature, that your children are not supposed to do it, especially and deliberately, these people would do that, go and do that only, and there would be a hell lot of complaints from all over. But now, if he's saying that now, if I think about those acts which I did it in my childhood, I feel a little bit embarrassing. One more thing he and his friend used to do, what they used to do, they used to lock the flats deliberately, okay, from outside. Did anyone from my class do this?
No,
No,
ma'am, there are
ma'am.
no handles in my society.
Latching the door from outside, and
No,
they used to
ma'am.
deliberately do it. Why? Because at times people or neighbors,
Ma'am.
if they are in hurry, if they want to go to any office, and also it is just that making them frustrated, not letting them
Ma'am.
step out of the
Ma'am, as a
house.
revenge.
So what he and his friend used to do, they used to lock the people in their flats, and they used to make and definitely when people used to get late for any emergent meetings or anything they had, and this would cause them frustration, but these people would sit behind and have fun looking at them. So now tell me, what are your viewpoints? You all can share your viewpoints. Yes, Aditya, you can share now.
Yes, ma'am. This would be very funny at the time, but then
Hmm?
Sachin Tendulkar would find it a bit boring now.
Okay, now he is not bored. He doesn't say he finds it boring. He says that now he finds it a little bit embarrassing, when he used to think that what thing he had done in his childhood. It is but natural, y'all must have also done. Maybe y'all are not sharing it with me in the class, but y'all must have also done such mischievous things. And if you will think over it again now, you will also feel certain acts of yours, little bit embarrassing.
I've done once, ma'am.
Ma'am, if I
Ma'am, I
will
lock
lock
people
someone
in the balcony.
You did
Ma'am,
that,
Yes.
Samriti?
Yes.
That's quite
Ma'am,
dangerous.
if I will lock someone, so he or she will come and complain to my mother, and my mother will scold me only.
Okay, so you don't do this, right?
No,
Y'all
ma'am.
don't try anything, okay? From
Ma'am,
this.
when I do it, they
Mhm.
used to lock me.
Okay. All right. So instead, at times this happens, younger siblings, if they are there at home now, they usually tend to lock themselves also. This also happens inside any
Yes,
room.
ma'am, that happened with my brother
My
once.
experience every
Yeah.
day.
I laughed so much and he was saying, "Get me
And
out"
ma'am,
in Marathi.
During the autobiography of
Yes, Saad. 1 minute. 1 minute.
put your head.
Okay, you have read it? Which autobiography? Okay, wow. It's about APJ Abdul Kalam. You read it?
Yes, ma'am, I enjoyed.
It is very, very interesting. It is, you need to learn a lot of things from that.
Yes, ma'am.
I would request you not just read it, make sure that practically follow those experiences and bring those principles in your own life also as well. It's an excellent book. Very good, Saad. Very good. Very nice. I hope you all understood till here, children. The lesson.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Understood,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Everyone understood till
It is
here.
very interesting.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Interesting and funny.
Interesting
Ma'am,
and
Mariam
fun.
did
Y'all
not
are
share
enjoying it.
anything.
Y'all are enjoying it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Ma'am,
Now we'll
Mariam.
stop here for today. We'll start the next in the next period. It's time up, I guess. So we'll stop.